with the audience. So first thing first, which is the introduction. So tell them why they should listen to it and why it would benefit them. That is the most important thing to actually tie together your audience and bring them closer to the topic. If you don't tell them that it's how it is going to benefit them, they're not going to listen anyway. The next is choice of words. So even if you have in a persuasive speech, let's say you're talking about something, some topic, and you spark some controversy and you have a disagreement in the audience, there might be, of course, some person who would just stand up and say, hey, I don't agree with this is crap. So you don't return the same tone of voice, and you stay respectful, maintaining a dignity essentially. So you again impress upon the credibility part by doing so. Of course, you need a strong evidence organization for your entire speech, and your delivery has to be perfect to make that connection. And appearance, well, you have to essentially make yourself visible in a way that is authoritative and credible. Going into the logic part, which is very obvious, you don't listen to someone who is not the expert in that particular field. You don't listen from a fellow classmate in your lectures. Anyone can say that the professor is reading from the textbook, so might as well one of my friends or colleagues go up and read and that'll be the same. No, that doesn't work that way, because the guy who's reading over there has some evidence to link correctly. And that evidence is what you need to establish that whatever you are saying makes sense from a rational point of view. So always and always have some evidence backing whatever you say. Then going into pathos, passion, which is a little bit of non-verbal or abstract idea. So passion being, you have to show it through your verbal and non-verbal characteristics. You have to vary your tone. You have to be very vivid, animated. You have to really show that this is something you care about and this is something that the audience should care about. So basically, all your aspects of non-verbal and verbal skills, they should just combine together and give the most passionate speech. That way you'll be able to make a long-lasting impact. So with these three, I have a little video over here where this guy in a TED Talk, Simon Sinek, this is an excellent TED Talk, pretty old as well. But if you have time, you should listen to the full talk. It's about 18 minutes. And how do we get the sound here?
First, make sure it's not muted on the actual computer.
Actual computer, yeah. No, it's not muted.
This really is a good TED Talk, though. Love it.
We'll just go through the first few parts of the talk.
How do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet, they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement. He wasn't the only man who...
One of the best examples of persuasive speeches. You could actually get hundreds of thousands of people behind you.
Suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered man flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered man flight, and the Wright brothers beat them to it? There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operate in it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Code.
Oh, you left out the best part.
Did I?
Be different, right?
There you go.
Ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order.
All right, so the idea behind looking at this talk is to actually see the logical sequence in which you can inspire action from people. First, tell them why they should hear you, or why, essentially, they should care about what you're saying. So that's essentially the first part of your ethos. Second part is essentially how they do it. And that's basically all the rationale that's coming into it. And then, lastly, just combine together what. So just the logic that flows, and it's so simple, so beautiful, and it works always. So with this, we will just jump into our impromptu topics for today. And